this is as a saturation limit. Now, we developed the model. First, Almanja et al. Assume the pay diffuse as a self-limiting and monotonically increasing function alpha x by x plus beta. And the discrete time of this analog model 23 is the discrete time model is like this. This is the parameter value. Now we analyze the model 24. We first find the equilibrium boundary equilibrium point. There we get two equilibrium points. One is at the origin E0 and one is axial E1 K0 and in the interior equilibrium point where the interior equilibrium positivity is tested by minus C plus P H star into 1 minus x star plus alpha star x star plus b greater than 0 and C and x star less than t. Now, to find the nature of the load in the neighborhood of the equilibrium point, so we write the Jacobian matrix of the system 24 is 26 from the Jacobian matrix. We try to find the behavior, local behavior of the near the equilibrium point. In the E0, 0 point is always saddle point and E1, K0 is the stable if and only if the following condition hold. Last lecture, how can we find the stability criteria? You know, the lambda 1 and lambda 2 eigenvalue, if it is less than 1, then the system is stable, otherwise not. And from this consideration, we get E1, K0 is stable if R lies between 0 and 1 and C greater than the parametric value. And the interior equilibrium stable if and only if scar quantum criteria. Last day I told about the scar quantum criteria. What is the scar quantum criteria? If the system is stable of that equilibrium point, if case of the Jacobian, mod of case of Jacobian minus 1 is less than the determinate value of the Jacobian less than 1, then the system of stable. That's why I repeated. First term is mod value is space minus 1 less than data determinate value of the Jacobian at the point x star y star is less than 1. Now we find the equilibrium point at which neighbor Sekar bifurcation following conditions are satisfied. In continuous model system, we find also bifurcation theory, and here is the another theory is Neymar-Sekar bifurcation. And we get in the system that the system has a pure coupling bifurcation by the following condition. And we study the global stability of the system, and is the following condition. And go to now is the numerical result, putting the same value of the parameter value and change the sum one to get the following diagram. First diagram is the bifurcation diagram for play period of population. Parameter alpha lies between 0.1 and 2. This is the numerical maximum Lyapunov exponent. The line, the scatter line below this line, give the bifurcation. These are numerical simulation result of this model. We get at the point alpha equal to 1.9. This is actually we get a limit cycle. But when the value of alpha is increasing, the system is stable. These are following the basic portrait bifurcation with respect to R. First, we define the bifurcation theory with respect to alpha, and now with respect to R, that is its growth term. This is the numerical simulation to find a bifurcation analysis. This is the Lyapunov exponent. This is the following result. best quoted for different value of R, bifurcation diagram over the play and predator population of the system with respect to the parameter is the maximal Icammwa exponent for H, and for the value of H is 0.6 is limit cycle. When it increases, the system is stable. Is the stability nature of the system for different initial point here is written 0.1, 0.9, 1, 0.7, and others. Now, I go to the discussion part. See, if the pay growth rate lies in a certain interval, as well as the death rate of the predator population is higher than a threshold value, then the predator population go to extinction and the prey population approaches environmental carrying capacity. If the condition is sufficiently stable coexistent, both prey and there is a global stability condition, and the system is globally condition holds, note that the intrinsic growth rate of the prey required to below the threshold value 1 for the system to achieve global stability. The maximum reduced capacity of the prey, earlier we have shown the result, 1.6 is stable, has a stability, there is the effect the dynamic system, otherwise it is limit cycle. Small amount of prey reduced do not affect the chaotic behavior, but significant amount transform chaotic behavior into oscillatory behavior and eventually stable fixed point. And in the result of R, that is intrinsic growth rate of prey, increase the interior fixed point of the system, loses its stability, and this system becomes periodic. If we increase R even further, the system eventually generates into chaos. You have already seen in figure 9. Interspecific competition of the predator prey to stabilize the system. Increasing age depth, the oscillating behavior will make the system locally isolated stable to a fixed point theory, Neymar-Sekar bifurcation. This is the following is the references, and this paper is published in the mathematical method in the applied sciences, and this is the references in the paper already published in 23. Thank you. Related that, I go to another part, is group defense. Like continuous model system, you can run all this thing. In discrete model system, you can run all this thing. And you try to develop your theory of bifurcation theory that will be helpful for you. And the bifurcation theory in continuous model system is different in discrete model system. This model system bifurcation theory is Neymar-Sekar bifurcation. In continuous model system, if you follow the books of Quang, then you can develop a bifurcation theory also, and another books is there. You can have this. That will help the theory of bifurcation, as because system will be always as a chaos, as because that's right. If you have a fever, or family member is worried, what will happen? What will happen? They go to the doctor, and doctor gives you the medicine. But fever is so high that cannot reduce. In 30 to 45 minutes, after 40 minutes, is a body heat, the body temperature is lower. But in this time, the system is chaotic. When we are hungry, first when we are hungry, in conference, you take food later. You are hungry. You are looking sometimes right side. You are hungry, but that means your system is chaotic. After that, when you get the lunch, after lunch, you take the class smoothly, as because you are now in a stable state. And another part is the bifurcation part. So every situation has a theory, and in population dynamics, every situation has a chaotic dynamics, and we have to explore Yeah? That's why, thank you. Have you any question? Okay.
Thank you so much. The first lecture that was if you are followed, you see that has to do with discrete population model, and again we have said this ecological model, and particularly now looking at how taking refuge, impact the dynamics of the system. Particularly, he has made us see that sometimes the prey and the predator, because of the way they affect each other, for the prey, that interaction is negative effect on it. The predator, it's positive on it. But that's all there has to be. There's a possibility where it, prey and one hide somewhere. The nature also provides such covering. Some of them enter into trees that they presented, burrows into soil, and they cover themselves up. And that kind of thing serve as a protection for them. But he also made us see that during this period, the production is not, the prey may not be able to reproduce during this period. So somehow it also has a kind of effect on them. But then they are protected. So we're trying to see that dynamics, that process. How does it affect the population of the prey and the predator in terms of mathematical model analysis? And then we have gone through the fixed point theory, a fixed point approach to get the equilibrium, and then the stability of the equilibrium, and then the implication, the ecological implication of those stability has been explained as you finally put up there in the discussion. And I also believe that if there is somebody who is an ecology, and those of us who are not ecologists, who are also different field, it will be a thing of interest to us because these are things that we can also adapt into other areas. So I know there may be some questions. Of course, I have some questions already, but then let me allow us members, the participants, to actually ask questions based on what he has presented this morning. We have some time to really engage what he has presented. If you have questions, can I see your hands? This indicates question. Okay, so I have the one here. Since I'm already serving as number one, so we will take two. Next question. Okay, we'll start from there. Let's see how we go from there. Oh, no, we just want a situation where you be comfortable. You told us the other time that if you hit and you come to the class, that you'll be stable, everything is stable, and then you participate in the class very well. Then if you are hungry, it will be chaotic. So we don't want a situation where you stand and then there will be chaos. So we don't want everything to be chaotic. So please sit down so that you'll be comfortable, and then you'll answer all the questions. No problem. All right, thank you. So question number one, for me, Prof, well done for that presentation. But I want to see it from the model equation, the parameter representing refuge, how it was captured from the model. I really want to get a feel of the model itself first, and then yes, how refuge was captured in the model. Okay, so that's alpha, right?
Yes.
Okay.
See the parameter value that will be helpful with. Alpha is the maximum physical capacity of it.
Okay, now we go back to that equation. So I want to see how it plays out here in the model. How alpha works in the model.
As because we consider this term as x by x plus beta.
Yes, sir.
Polytype type 2 term.
Yes.
And as because we are where we choose this one as the refuse base is too small. If refuse, they interact with each other, someone go to the refuse and someone in the open space. That's why we consider here this In the time pre-indicator system, what we can write? Minus Qx into Y. But the population which refuse, they cannot kill by the Y predator. That's why we consider X minus alpha X by X plus beta. Okay.
So because it's the population of the prey that is seeking refuge. So it's the carrying capacity of the refuge place.
Yes.
And
because the predator cannot see the refuse prey.
Okay. Okay.
They are lucky.
Yeah.
They are not period. That's why you consider X minus alpha X by X plus 2. You know the beta is the half saturation process.
Yes. So now, thank you so much, Prof, on that. So I now want to see in how does this parameter alpha influence the system?
Yes.
I mean, just general explanation of how alpha influences the system. Yes, sir.
Explicitly not have written is here. See, we find the Icammwa exponent by the alpha. Okay. See, some maximum expression in the below the line, and that is give the bifurcation one, and you get the following result. See, for separate values of alpha. Changes value of alpha at 0.1. We give the diagram this one, and this diagram is scatteredly changed. Alpha for 9.9x1, and for phase 4 we can easily find the reduced value went up to 1.9. The system exhibit limit cycle. When this is cause the value alpha is equal to 1.9, we get consider 1.96, the system is always stable.
Yeah.
Okay. If the reduce is not so high, then this system is unstable. That's why you get the limit cycle. If the reduce parameter is more in the system, in future time, that will be stable.
So the other ones for alpha that are less than 1.9, it seems to be exhibiting this chaotic behavior. Okay. So
and because we are the mathematician, when we draw models, we try to find what will happen in future time. Either this system is stable or destroyed, and which key parameters would be needed to draw the system stable. That means persist in future time. They are both the population will persist future time.
okay, so for the chaotic situation, what do we make out of that psychologically?
You have to change. See, this is a bifurcation diagram. This is the lower exponent for R. You see, below the line, you take the chaotic situation. See this one. With bifurcation, we are doubling. See the lower exponent. See, in for H, just one peak is here and another is fixed. Same case is arise, and you can give the dynamics. If you interested, I can send you the paper. You can elaborate it, that can help you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Shum. All right, thank you for your beautiful presentation. So, I want to ask, you mentioned that discrete models are suitable for populations with no overlapping generations. I want to ask, what do you mean by no overlapping generations?
That's because, see, give you an example, it will give you little result. In theoretical biologists, they collect data from one is a phytobiologist, say, for bacteria, and they change the bacteria behavior, and they collect the bacteria colony and collected this. This is not a continuous phase. It's all a 2 day. After biological people go to that area, the population will be changed. That is discrete. in the malaria mosquito. Malaria mosquito enter the air not so much. But in the seasonal effect, before monsoon and after monsoon, they are high. And when the monsoon is gone, this is reduced. That means they are scattering. When we give it a continuous state, we collect, we find at t tends to infinity means infinity means inter area here is continuous. But it is not a continuous. The population will vary, seasonal will vary. That's why discrete model is more realistic than continuous model. As because we find t is equal to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, like this. And when you collect continuous model, t tends to infinity. This is the basic difference. So it is more realistic than continuous model. But sometimes its calculation is very rich and so we cannot solve all this problem and we go to the numerical. But with the mathematician, try to develop a theory. You can go to the any model or discrete model to get the some part of the theory and other is numerical. And because the numerical simulation is very easy than continuous model. As because there is a step size, it's t equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, you can get the result. In which situation he will give. That's why I give an example. When we have a fever, because if you have a in your room, in your house, the children, they have a high fever, father, mother is very eager, what will happen, what will be, they go to the doctor gave him the medicine, but fever is not dropped out. Then the situation, family situation is chaotic. But also the situation of the children where high fever, after you taken the medicine, you take a time, minimum 45 to 50 minutes to drop the fever. When we give the medicine, we have to try to add to that medicine, the fever will go down just now. That will not happen. But we want that will happen, but the system shows a system chaotic situation of this children will be stable after some time. That's why we have taken this type of model. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Lippert, for that wonderful presentation. So my question is around the ecology parts which you illustrated on the start of the presentation. You talked about medicine always at the prey escape from the predators, about hiding around trees, burrows, and the rest of that. So I want to ask, for those prey that might adopt the camouflage.
Okay. This is one type of hiding.
Yeah, camouflage.
Camouflage is one type of hiding. As because what type of hiding? Hiding means refuge. Lizard, they change the color. When they climb the tree, that color just like this color.
So
Grasshopper, the color is green. When he is on a tree plant, you cannot see. That is his camouflage is a one type of hiding in nature. I only saw this is hiding nature when he is in a hole. Refuge is another part. There are many types of camouflage is one of the part. Last day, I show you that some tree have made a house as because to leave the carnivore there. When you go to the big tree, you see that ant is there. Why? The attractive ant, they name the house. You can A here. That's because when herbivore attack them, they attack the herbivore and kill them. And you may see in tomato field, there is tomato is here is tomato field, same mechanism is there. They ask the and there and there they you can see in the tomato field and it is in the below of the tree. And when another predator herbivore come, kill the tree, they will kill the herbivore. That is carnivore. They are there. Here in terms of we cannot say they are refused as because they are at home, because they are drawn. Carnivore is drawn, so they can refuse. But everyone, every animal has an instinct. If anyone attack, somebody attack with yeah. So we try to this is the basic behavior of animal also. They try to hide to protect themselves. This is the main feature. That's why refuse is the one part of that. Okay.
Yeah, so I want to I don't know, such kind of hiding, does it actually place a sort of ban on the production of the prey, the population of the prey, such kind of hide of camouflage?
Camouflage is one type of hiding. But in nature, in subscientific, biological bit, told that they are refused to one place to another, just like bees. Bees in the pond, you can see bees in the pond, and part coming and attack the bees. You know, there's some big fish, they stay in the pond, just below the pond, never they can catch by anyone. No human, no animal is there as a hiding in nature there. They are refused there. Below is if you go to the animal planet, that will give you the better refugee nature. In coral reef, you can see to go to the any coral island, Australia, there's a coral reef, many separate color. We are in Australia and we see that both fish are different color, just like the coral. We only see the blackish color, but there actually got pink color, green color, violet color, and other things. Why? For environmental effect, they changes the behavior and color, and they are moving to the coral island, but we cannot see. Whenever they can come from this color, you can see that is the color of the yellow color or pink color. That is one type of refuse. And because they are staying there, they are staying there for refuse system. So another big fish cannot catch them. That's why they are the refuse for color, that is camouflage, one type of refuse. We have already seen in the Australia, and you can go to any animal planet, you can see how many type of refuse processes there.
So Prof, now, I think one of the other things that he wants to know is that for the reproduction now, reproduction of the prey,
No,
that those
stay. When reproduction will be done, when the population will all together, they must reproduce, and because we need male and female, and refuse separately, more time. So reproduce time is delayed. When they come back, that's why I say.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. So the last question. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I have just two questions for you, sir. So, from the basic ecology concepts that we know, we have some cases where the predators also become prey to some animals. So, how do we
In this model, I cannot account that. Now, in next class, I can give you the lecture. When see, here A attacked by the predator when they are alone. But when the player A are in the group, that is bakery. They can also attack the predator. Go back. Then predator population is less. Is another situation. Situation, the modeling system is changed.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Let's please appreciate Prof.
Very grateful presentation. Yesterday, Professor Bakari was helping us to understand that everything that we do, even in the epidemiological models, some of them stem from logical modeling approaches. And really, it's you see some of these things that he's talking about, they are, you can relate with them because now you are dealing with a population-based epidemiological models, or you are dealing with ecological models. You see some similarities, but then the concept is towards ecology. So it's a good one. Thank you so much, Prof, for that. Now, we have the first part of Professor Pretty's presentation before we go for the tea break. Tea break will happen after that first. We appreciate it.